Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen. Thanks for being with us today, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Got the NBA playoffs staring us in the face here. Oh, my goodness. We have a game starting up right now, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Knicks Celtics, game one.
Okay.
About to tip off.
Knicks Celtics, game one. Very exciting.
It is underway. Celtics with an early 3-2 lead in the first minute of the first quarter.
Tell me where to go again.
TNT, or if you prefer, True TV.
Oh,
the home of Impractical Jokers. Can you name another show?
No, I couldn't. I wouldn't even be able to tell you that, to be honest. I don't know that show very well. I know they had a scandal recently. Isn't that a thing?
Oh, I'm sure there has been.
Oh,
yeah.
Our producer, Alex, he's like, yeah. Yeah, move on. Let me see here. Yeah, so I'm trying to find this basketball game here. So with the
There's no YouTube TV on there?
No, I mean, somebody's got it going on. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in the break. And there's.
You got to go YouTube TV.
Okay, got it.
Let's see if it's working.
See, now look, we're okay.
You got to change the channel.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
You know how YouTube TV works,
I
right?
actually don't. I'm gonna be honest.
Do you need help?
Here, you do it. That's what I do to my kids. This is what I do with my kids. You do it. Fine. They're like, give me 5 or 6 minutes. They go, because in here, I don't even have.
Done.
I don't know. Because look, it's the Apple TV controller.
Why can't I just turn on the TV and punch the channel in like I used to?
Pretty soon I'll have one of those phones. They're all, I like it because it's got 3 buttons on it. My wife, it's like, what is it? What was that old phone called? I can't even remember. It was like, it's got like 3 buttons on it. That was me. As JJ struggles to find it too. All right.
I pushed
No,
the
you
button.
You got it.
Boom! Done.
All right. So now
NBA
we got
basketball.
NBA
It's
basketball.
fantastic.
We've got NBA playoffs. Let's kick off the program here. Let's chat a little bit about the NHL. Next week, we're going to be, of course, covering this. We've got tons to talk about with this NHL draft. Not next week. Next month, the NHL draft will be right in front of us. And the NHL and NBA drafts are a couple days apart. So it's going to be a couple busy days for us. But all of it gets decided by the draft lotteries. You got the draft lottery, I think, tonight for the NHL. It's happening right now.
Shortly.
And then, and I think we're going to hear from Bill Armstrong right after. He'll have a media availability, so we'll be able to hear all that, of course, across the station tomorrow. But the big ones, of course, of watching the actual draft themselves, those are going to be part of it. Now, the
ping pong balls are going into the chute right now. I love this.
Wow.
They're doing it right in front of everybody.
So
this is fascinating.
JJ's going to give us an idea. We're going to know where the
I'll keep tabs on
the hockey club are going to be picking here.
Now, there's something you need to know.
What?
Okay. So
14th worst odds, right?
Yes, and Utah cannot get the number 1 overall pick.
Okay, the best they can do is...
So if they won the lottery, they would only get to 4th.
When was the last time you win a lottery and you get 4th place?
Look, I don't make the rules. Doesn't make any sense to me either.
Some sports mathematician got a hold of this thing. And by the way, they've made it as complicated as possible. They've made it as complicated as possible across every sport. Like the fact that the the fact that the NFL doesn't have a ping pong ball decider, I'm so glad. It just makes my life so much better not to have the NFL deciding.
I mean, they have a literal machine with a vacuum in it.
I love it.
With the balls bouncing around.
Brought to you by Dyson.
It's pretty transparent what they're doing.
I know. It's great. Our show, by the way, brought to you by G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives to make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Give it a shot right now. Anywhere you find in the refrigerated section protein bars, you're going to get the G2G Bar. It's phenomenal. Give it a shot. All right. Let's kick things off here with the cut. We'll get right into it, and we've got some lottery ping pong balls at the NHL level to talk about, so let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. That's TrajanWealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. JJ, we haven't even mentioned happy Cinco de Mayo to people out there.
Yes.
So bust out the paste picante sauce in the old El Paso. You guys are going to be
Do not put ketchup
tonight.
on your tacos.
Only
in Idaho, right?
I got the carne asada marinating at home, brother.
That sounds
And,
good. You're doing it right then.
Well, I'll tell you what we do, because it's just carne asada. See, my mouth is watering now. We got the carne asada, and then we just go simple white onion with the cilantro,
That's the way you do it.
and then bam with the
Little bit of
lime.
Oh yeah,
Bam with the lime.
you're good. You're doing a really nice traditional street
Now,
taco.
I
there.
will
like
say,
it.
we have like every flavor of Cholula in the house, too. My kids love the Cholula, right?
Oh yeah.
And so the hot sauce is readily available as well. So there you go. And then my wife is like, always required is the guac and chips. So if we're going to appropriate on a holiday, we're going to do it the correct way.
So
All right?
I have some breaking news.
No. Jazz or Fort.
For those of you who are like dying to know if the Utah Hockey Club could move up in the lottery,
they will not.
no,
Stay at 14?
they'll stay at 14.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
They were just mathematically eliminated. The New York Rangers, who had the 11th best chances, have moved into the top 4.
No.
Yeah.
That is insane. I love that, though. I love
They do
when,
a first draw. They'll pull 4 balls, and then they'll do it again, I think,
okay.
among those 4 lottery balls.
Keep us
It's interesting, really fascinating. I'll keep you an update.
All right. So the Utah Hockey Club gets the 14th pick, which is what they were kind of anticipating. I think they had only a 14% or like a 10% chance to even move up. So they're going to stay at that 14 spot, which we were talking to Cole Bagley earlier. He said, look, it's the first round of the NHL draft. This is a lot of really, really good guys. And the NHL draft is kind of deep. And by the way, these are all guys that have to go and develop down in the lower leagues. You know, so that's how it differs from the NHL, or I mean the NBA, the NFL, where they say, hey, you're a first-round draft pick, you're in the top 5, you better start playing immediately. You're going to be the guy starting day one. You have to be the starter. We're going to require it, okay? So it's part of the deal. It's one thing that we're getting used to. But the one thing that we did read today, which I think is good news, is that the NBA or the NHL All-Star Weekend. I'm watching an NBA game and I'm talking NHL at the same time. It's not a good mix. The NHL is going to substitute the All-Star Weekend with an international event in lieu of the previously announced All-Star Weekend at the home of the New York Islanders. They're going to have an international event, a spectacular international event. Does that mean they're just going to have a Four Nations Cup type thing again?
How about Four Nations on steroids?
Just keep doing
let's
it.
Get Czechia involved.
get all the.
I guess we probably can't have the Russians have a team. We'll call it a confederation.
Well, yeah. What was it this last year? You had Sweden.
4 Nations.
Yeah, you had Sweden, Finland,
Canada, USA.
So if we do like a 6-team format, then what are we looking at here? Who wants to? What other?
Let's keep going. Like how many? I mean, how many?
The Czech team is always very good.
Czechia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Switzerland typically has a pretty decent team. I don't know how good Germany is, but I would assume that if we're gonna stay, why is it that we're not talking about Norwegian hockey players? Why is it just Finland and Sweden who bring the hockey players across the pond?
What does that say about Norway?
It's not good. Wasn't Iceland? Weren't they in Mighty Ducks 2 or 3?
They were in that NHL hockey game I used to, or that
I know
that hockey game on Nintendo I used
now,
to play.
Iceland's a very small country, but if they're going to
the 2025 men's world rankings: Canada,
give it to me.
Finland,
yeah. Okay,
Czechia, Switzerland.
I told you.
United States, Sweden.
What number are we?
We're 6th.
I don't like it. Keep going.
Sweden, Germany, Slovakia, the other half of
course.
Czechia.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, but Latvia.
Oh, there we go. Now we're
Denmark and Norway are below Latvia. That's unacceptable.
Not a shock, though. Again, like I said, Norway not brought up in any of those hockey circles. Is there one Norwegian player in the NHL? Hey, producer Alex, looking for Norwegian NHL players of note. Maybe even in the history of the game. I'm not even sure. So I love it because
I need to finish the list.
Oh, Finish?
Because you'll never guess
Okay.
who else is on this list.
If Mexico is on the list, I'm going to be shocked.
No.
Okay.
Austria is 13th.
That's
France
not a shock.
14th. Kazakhstan is 15th.
Ha ha!
Very nice.
Yes, Smash.
What's Kazakhstan doing on this list?
Hey, listen, it's part of the old Russian Confederation. Of course they're going to have hockey still, right? Is that it? That's all you got for me?
I'll give you the top 15 because I couldn't believe that Kazakhstan is on there.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Now we know. Knowing is half the battle.
Now
all right,
you know.
So, but I do love the idea of an international hockey event. I mean, like, we saw how big of a deal, and the NHL can't ignore the fact that if you're going to cash in on an all-star situation, look, all-star games are big, and they're big time. I do think that they are going to have to address the fact that you had a couple of big injuries that happened in this year's Four Nations international kind of. Again, this is all exhibition, but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Anytime you get Canada and USA facing off against one another and political insanity goes off, and these were must-watch hockey games, we were absolutely. I would dare say that championship game with Team USA in Canada was actually more like people were following that in the mainstream more than people were these last two Game 7s, right?
No doubt.
From a rating standpoint, I think we pulled it too. You were talking about in comparison, there was nothing that hockey does that gets this kind of attention, and we don't watch we don't watch gold medal hockey games like we did. I think even that, you know what I mean? Like I think because the Winter Olympics go on at the same time, it's one of those things that you can kind of get.
It gets lost in the
hockey
mix
gets
of the
lost a
Winter
little bit because
Olympics,
everyone's like, "Oh, show me skeleton, let's go." I think that this is a massive move. I think Gary Bettman needs to figure out a way that they can have this. So what does that mean? So next year, we were talking about when are the next Olympics then? When are the next Winter Olympics?
No, they're coming up in Italy in February.
This next year. Okay.
Yes, 2026.
So how are you going to balance that out to have the Olympics and then an international hockey tournament on top of it? I feel like the Players Union might have a little something to say about what that looks like, because playing in a bunch of international tournaments and having guys take time off for the Olympics already is going to be a big deal. So, but yeah, I wonder how that's going to mix up having the Olympics right before that, because I think that
They'll
Olympics
have to juggle that.
When is the actual?
Yeah.
Oh, the New York Islanders.
We have breaking news.
Weren't they bad though? They were bad, right?
Well, you have to be in the lottery, yes. You can't make the playoffs. The New York Islanders have won the NHL Draft Lottery.
Okay. Why are you sounding so depressed? Like, come on.
No one cares about the Islanders.
I will say though,
It's not like there's not like a generational guy.
No, but
it's not
let
that
me-
big of a deal.
okay, let me tell you something. The Islanders ended with 82 points. That's only 7 points off of where the Utah Hockey Club was.
Yeah, they're not a bad team. They just weren't good enough to make.
Who was the absolute worst in the entire league? Was it
San Jose?
It was San Jose, but it was
Again.
also like Nashville was surprisingly awful. Where did
Yeah.
Nashville end up? Where did Nashville end up in the order? The Sharks were the worst.
That's still being sorted out. Now they're doing 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah,
and then
the
everything else
Blackhawks and the Preds were not good.
No.
So we'll see where those guys end up. And then in terms of other bad teams in the West, the Kraken and the Ducks ended up being the other worst teams, I guess, across that one.
Yes.
So there you go. Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch other teams win lotteries, and I don't know. The Utah Hockey Club's at 14. That's exactly where they should have ended up, because that's where they ended up in the standings.
Yes.
So you can't be upset about it. Okay. With the hockey this weekend, I was shocked to see that the St. Louis Blues even took it to a Game 7, but this is the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is what you get. Does Connor Hellebuck figure it out in round 2, JJ? This is the best goaltender in the league for the past, 3 seasons.
Regular season.
Regular season.
All right.
And I get that it's a little bit different, but I just wonder. I think that the outlier was his performance in these first couple of games. I think that it was probably massive for them to be able to get that win, and for him to be able to notch that one and say, "Hey, going into this Game 7, you're still going to trust the best hockey or the best goaltender in hockey," and that's the way you look at it. And I just don't know how. I just don't know if Winnipeg is going to have it to be able to get to the next round, because then you're talking about getting to the Western Conference Finals and then having to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's you got to win 3 more series. And I just don't feel like this Winnipeg Jets team, despite the fact having the President's Trophy, gives them that advantage necessarily. They had 116 points during the regular season. Great. They won all these games in the regular season. Great. No one cares once you get to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I agree. I think their moment was last night. I think the moment
That's
for their
where it all
fans
turns around?
and for this season, no. That was their moment this year.
That was the moment.
They're going to get their hearts broken in the series because the Dallas Stars are just better. I know that Winnipeg had a great regular season. Remember the hot start they got off to? And that kind of carried it through.
Yeah.
Once they got off to that hot start, they kind of coasted all the way through. So I think the Stars, though, are a better team. And we talked to Cole Bagley earlier, and I think he agrees with me. I just think the Stars have too much offense. You saw what Mikko Rantanen could do. How quickly that team can attack and score. I think they've got the whole package. I think they beat the Jets. I think that you're right, Hellebuck. Maybe I don't think it really matters, honestly. I think it's more about just him. I just think the Stars have more firepower, and the team with more firepower is going to win this series.
He's had some really weird moments. Super questionable goal last night, and he just hasn't had the same type of vision. I think in the series he ended up with an 83% save percentage, which is like 10% off of what he normally does. Like you got to be mid-90s to be an elite goalie in the playoffs, and that's just crazy. We talked a little bit earlier about how the Kings GM is now out after they had another first-round exit. Man, the NHL is brutal. It's like, hey, yeah, thanks for getting us the Stanley Cup playoffs. If you don't keep getting the team to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then you don't show that you're going to be moving on, you're going to get fired. And LA they had all sorts of talent. I think that they fell victim to the difficulty that is the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. These matchups are difficult. They are hard. But to go up 2-0 in that series and then to just lose 4 in a row against Edmonton, that was a bad look. And I think that they wanted heads to roll in LA, and they got it. But that's exactly what happens at these high levels. And no one, not anybody's going to have any type of feel bad for a GM who puts his team together. It just is they work so freaking hard all year. When you think about how much craziness goes on in the NHL regular season and how hard of a season it is, and then you get to the playoffs and you can just get upset. What's going on over here, JJ?
We got some breaking news, guys.
What do we have going on
here?
We
got some breaking news.
Is it NHL Draft
breaking news?
We need a
breaking news sounder.
Hold on a minute. Where'd our producer go? We got to get is this the NHL is it the NHL Lottery?
And so, pardon me, I don't know a lot about the NHL Lottery.
All right, let's hit the
play the sounder.
Let's get to the NHL Draft Lottery.
They have
news
4
desk.
drawings, right? So the Islanders won the first drawing. They are the number 1 pick. The Utah Hockey Club has done what we did not expect them to do. They just won the second drawing. They moved up 10 spots. They are the number 4 pick.
What? How does
in
that
the
work?
NHL draft.
I thought you put us dead in the water. How did we get revived?
They were dead in the water for the winning it at number 1. They won the second drawing. They moved up 10 spots.
Hold on a minute.
So there's 4 drawings.
So I'm going to use
Islanders won the first one.
I'm going to use the we.
They can only move up 10 spots, remember?
Right.
Or they would have moved up to 2.
Hold on a minute. So the Utah Hockey Club is now picking 4th in the NHL draft next week. Or next month.
Correct.
Bill Armstrong and company are
Bill
going berserk.
Bill Armstrong was just on TV.
Had to have had a big smile on his face there.
Oh, yeah. So San Jose, the Sharks, are the second pick. So now we're waiting on the third, and then the rest of the order can be had. But the Utah Hockey Club has moved up 10 spots.
I don't even know.
They
won
a drawing in the lottery. They will pick number 4.
Love it.
The best case scenario for the Utah Hockey Club just happened.
That was a 1.5% chance?
It was, and they just did it.
Boy, if the Jazz don't pull off a 14% chance next week, like 10 times more.
Hey, Utah, it's our year. We're going to win both lotteries.
Is that our only good luck?
We want all your lotteries. Give them all to us.
Is that our only good luck that we get in the offseason?
Oh, man. If that ends up being it.
Will you go back and explain what happened, though? Because you told me.
There's 4 drawings.
Yeah,
they didn't win the first drawing, so I thought, they're out.
Because I thought they weren't in the first drawing because they can't go.
There's 4 drawings.
Okay. And if you win one of those,
you move up.
Oh, my goodness.
They won the second drawing. They moved up 10 spots.
It's done. They are going to be number 4.
It's done. They are the number 4.
Do you remember they traded up last year to be number 6?
Yes,
right?
they did.
They traded up last year to be number 6. Now they're going to get the 4th overall pick in this draft this year, and they had the 14th best odds. I feel really good about the NBA Draft Lottery next Monday, brother. I'm feeling really good about it.
This is awesome. They're going to get the 4th best player in this draft on top of all the other talent they already have. The rest of the league right now is rolling their eyes.
I just got a punch in the arm. I love this stuff.
The rest of the league is rolling their eyes because they can't believe Utah's going to get more young talent.
Don't care. You know why? Don't care. Because it always happens to everybody else, okay? And we have to watch big markets, and we got to watch all these other teams have all sorts of luck. Come on. This is our year, my guy. Be excited about it. I don't care what the other markets think. All right? The Utah Hockey Club have just moved up in the lottery as much as they can move up, and they only had a 1.5% chance of being the number 4 overall pick in the draft, and they're getting it. Nice. Yeah. Oh, GMs across the league are upset. Screw you guys.
Wah.
Don't care about you. Never did. All right, we'll take a break. We've got more to go around the corner. When we return, we've got our NFL Blitz. Yes, there is NFL news to be had. You can also join Jake and Ben, by the way. Oh, we're going to do the is that coming right up, too? Oh, awesome. All right, we're hoping to get the presser from Bill Armstrong and company for the Utah Hockey Club after just winning the 4th overall pick. So we'll see if we can get that as soon as we can get it to you. So stay right here. More to go. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex with the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Very exciting stuff just in the last 15 minutes here as the Utah Hockey Club has moved way up in the NHL Draft, and we're going to join the Zoom call right now with General Manager Bill Armstrong of the Utah Hockey Club right now in reaction to Utah hitting it big in the lottery.
We were just a couple seconds ago, we were just like 10 back, so it's like it still hasn't sunk in, but what a great opportunity for us. To be able to move up that far in the draft, and now we're right up at the top of the draft, and this is an exciting moment for us. It's a game changer for us. So I can't wait to huddle with the scouts tomorrow and go over it and kind of see. You know, obviously we've been studying the players that were available to us where we thought they'd fall. Now we're gonna, obviously leap up a little bit, and it's going to be exciting times. But I mean, just great stuff for the franchise. I can't express in words on the excitement of when that happened and the opportunity in front of us.
Go to Belle Fraser, the Salt Lake Tribune.
Hi, Bill. Just how
Recording in progress.
How does your mindset kind of change now that you have this pick, and what was going through your mind when you saw that ball?
Well, it was kind of all over the map because they didn't reveal things. So I thought we had won, but I wasn't quite sure. So when they tuned back in and showed us that we'd won. I mean, that's you just start thinking in a different. It's your mind just totally switches to like who's available that you can get at 4. So it's really exciting times for us. Puts us in a different area of the draft and right up top. And it's going to be a great challenge for us to kind of go back and look at some of the players that are available in that spot and go to work. We've had that ability to pick in the last few years up in that range. So I really do think it's good as a staff when you're always kind of picking in the same range. You get used to what's available and the talent around you. So it's truly exciting, and we're gonna get to work tomorrow and start preparing.
Go to Stephen Wino, the Associated Press.
Bill, you just mentioned sort of this is a game changer for you. Just very big picture, kind of what does this mean in terms of how exciting a summer you guys have ahead of you in terms of this free agency and everything else you guys might be able to do?
Well, I think it is. I mean, you look at the draft and you're like, to get into four, you have to almost, be. It's a tough year as a franchise to go through that struggle just to be able to get into that range to pick at four, and we didn't have to do that. We were a pretty good team that chased it down the stretch, playing meaningful games and chasing a playoff spot, and we're getting to that point where we're becoming a really good team that's going to have a chance to get into the playoffs. And so not only knowing that we have that in front of us with a really good team and some really good prospects coming, but the fact that we're picking at four again and going into free agency, these are exciting times for Utah.
Go to Brogan Houston with Deseret News.
Bill, congratulations. I'm just wondering how the process goes now, shifting gears from, probably anticipating the 14th overall pick, and now, all of a sudden you have this newfound ability to draft maybe a higher talent kind of thing. How does that process work, shifting your attention from one to the next?
Well, this is why you pay your amateur staff, right? Because now you're switching spots and you're having to draft higher, and they've been looking, coming down the stretch, they've been kind of seeing where we're going to place and chasing those type of players. Now it's, in motion, we're going to switch and go into a new world of looking at the top end of the draft and seeing what's going to slide our way at four. The good news for us is that we've done it before. We've picked in that range in the last few years, so that's going to help us prepare for it. And I think the simple fact that our staff's pretty good at always keeping an eye on what's up there and has done some great work during the year, and now we're going to go dissect it and get down to business tomorrow.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL.
Yeah, hey, Bill, just to give us an idea, any given year in the NHL draft, what is the difference between a player in the skill set that's available at number 4 compared to number 10?
Yeah, 10 or 14 where we were. It doesn't mean you can't pick somebody at 14 or 10 that's as good as that what you can pick at 4. You can. It depends on the strength of the draft and what's coming to you down the way. But right now, where we're picking at 4, there's some good talent there that's is definitely has shown itself, and we're really excited about getting to work and attacking that and see what might come our way. But there's really good players, obviously from 1 to all the way through. You can find players anywhere, so you just need to have a good strategy and a good staff.
Dana Green, ABC.
Congrats on the luck of the draw there. We kind of missed the first part of your comments. Can you just describe the shock that you had to move up 10 spots? That just doesn't happen.
Well, it never does. We sit at these things every year and we're just like, yeah. It's like we were in awe when we were here. We're like, oh my God, like what just happened to us? So it's just an amazing moment. And it really hasn't sunk in, to be honest with you. I think when we get down to doing some work tomorrow and looking at the lists and what we might be able to get, it's going to really get exciting for us. But it normally, you sit in these things and sometimes nobody moves and you go home, unhappy, or you got bumped down a spot and you're going home happy. But we'll never forget this moment. This is truly a great moment in the franchise.
Mike Morial, NHL.com.
Hey, Bill, thanks for doing this. Congrats. I know it might be a little early, but how do you and your staff feel about the top end of this draft and maybe the depth that's available?
Yeah, it's a good draft. I think it's, when you're picking up top, you got a chance to get a real game changer, a top 2-line guy that can be a difference maker on your team. You still have to pick well. If you go back to the 2012 draft, take a look at the top 4 that went off the board, and they all, never worked out for them in the NHL. So you still got to be a savvy staff that gets down to business and ignores all the critics, all the hype, and who's supposed to go, and this and that, and really get down to it. So I think our staff's done an amazing job over the years at just kind of ignoring all the noise and getting down to hockey players. And you probably saw that the year that Cooley was picked. There was a lot of hype about a lot of different players, and we just stuck to our guns, and drafted what we thought was the best player in the draft.
Chase Beardsley, Hockey Writers.
Hey Bill, congrats again on the pick, and hopefully your summer is going well. Originally you were supposed to pick around the 14th range, and around that time, it takes more time usually for players to develop. And now that you're in top four, it might take less time for that player to develop. Question is, does this change the timeline, in your opinion, of the rebuild? Does it advance it forward at all? Do your plans change at all in the future?
It does. It doesn't really change the rebuild. Our goal this year was to have a strong team that had a chance to get into the playoffs and that could compete, and at the same time go back into the draft with all our picks and swing. And so we have that ability to do that, and that was what we set out to do. And one pick's not going to change our franchise. There's a lot of higher quality talent that's up top, so we'll get a better look at it. Like I said, we'll have to get down to work and really kind of go through it tomorrow. But right now, we'll celebrate a little bit and get down to some work tomorrow.
Jake Hatch, KSL.
Yeah, Bill, philosophically, are you the guy who will go into a draft and look for the best player available regardless of position, or are there certain positions you'll be targeting?
Yeah, we really look at the best player available. We've always done that as a staff. Like I said, we kind of ignore all the hype and the noise around it, and all the bloggers and all the great things that they write about players and don't draft this guy. And our staff's really good about just digging into hockey players. And so that's our big thing. I think from the time I've come in, I've tried to hire some of the best scouts in the business and develop a culture. And create an organization that's obsessed with scouting. So this is where this is where they'll make their money on picks like this. And so picking at 4 will give us an opportunity to get a real good player that will have some impact in the coming years into this franchise.
Bell Fraser.
Similar to Jake's question, just if there was a position or part of the team that could get some depth from this draft, what are you kind of looking at improving?
Well, we've had a lot of draft picks, Bell. So we've covered a lot of different areas for us. Like I said, it's just really comes down for the best player for us. We always keep track of how many D-men we've drafted every year, and obviously as you get down into the later rounds. But when we're picking up top, we're going to take the best player.
Final 2 questions. Tom Callahan, Locked On Utah.
Thank you, Bill. First, congratulations. And also wanted to ask you, I know you just got the shiny number 4 pick. Is there any consideration to maybe putting that pick in play for maybe some future mobility in the draft, free agency, maybe acquiring a player? And do you expect your phone to be ringing now that you're up at number 4?
I do. I think people will try and get into that pick. They'll try and get, they want to acquire it. They'll look at our team and say, listen, this team's had more picks in the last 4 years than any other NHL team. Can we go in there and give them a good player and for exchange for the pick? So I think that's something that obviously, we'll always talk about. We'll never shut that door. That's always been an avenue for us to get players. And we're at the position right now as a team where we're trying to make that next step. So we'll always look at that. That's part of the process. But the amateur guys will be looking at the guy to pick, and they don't want to hear anything about trades. So that'll be an exciting moment for us. But yes, the phone will be ringing.
Last question, Quentin Carney, Hockey News.
Hey, Bill. Just to kind of change gears, I was wondering, do you think Utah Hockey Club is going to try and make a big event of this for the whole Utah community, considering last year it was such a new team and people are still getting to know the team?
Yeah, I think so. I think they get more into the draft every year. So I think because we'll be picking, so high that, it'll cause a little bit of excitement in the community and into our fan base. I think they'll be really exciting to, they'll get into it. They just have to remember that it's not like basketball. The guy doesn't play right away. So I think that's the big difference we've tried to explain to people. It's like they go back to junior and sometimes they're 3 and even more years away from playing. So it takes a little bit longer. But I think last year when we drafted, a lot of the people thought, hey, they're coming in right away to play. And I'm like, no, it takes some time. So, but truly an incredible day for us here. And we're going to have the opportunity to pick a real good player high in the draft and take a big swing here. It's going to be exciting.
Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Utah Hockey Club. I don't know if you could tell, JJ, excited about the fact that they just won the lottery to the extent that they can win it. The most that the Utah Hockey Club could have moved up, and they only had a 1.5% chance to be able to move up 10 spots. They did it. Number 4, picking 4th in the NHL draft next month. It's a big deal. It's awesome. You can hear the smile on Bill Armstrong's face. He's not often in the dumps anyway, but good day for them.
No,
How many times did he mention? How many times did he mention this is like franchise changing? This is a massive day for our franchise.
So that gives you an idea. I don't think he would use that kind of hyperbole if he didn't really matter, because he doesn't want to create unrealistic expectations with his job. Trust me, he's going to downplay every little thing, just like he did last year about making the playoffs. He was right. He's not wrong here. This is a game changer for them. A team with already that much talent, being able to add a top 4 pick in this draft. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of the GMs around the league are thinking this isn't fair. That team, this brand new team, has so much young talent, and now they're going to get another great one. It's really not fair. Utah had a 3.1% chance to win the lottery. And for people that don't understand how it works, there are 2 drawings. The first drawing determines the number 1 overall pick. That was won by the New York Islanders. They moved up 9 spots. So when they had the second drawing, it just seemed like, oh, there's no way that Utah's going to win that. Now, the second drawing moves all the way up to number 2. That's for the second pick, and then everything else falls in place after that. But Utah won the second drawing. There's a rule in the lottery that says you can only move up 10 spots, so that's why they're not second, they are 4th. But that is incredible. They moved up 10 spots.
But you also have to pump the brakes on the excitement, because those guys might not be. Look, it's like when BYU signs a guy and it's all, anyway, he's going to go on his mission and we'll see him in 2029.
Right.
A little bit of that.
Right.
So just from that standpoint, you also
keep in mind that they're going to draft somebody who was born in 2007.
Right, and they're going to send him right back to a lot of times the teams they've been playing. If they're already in those developmental leagues,
the OHL,
if they're in the
WHL.
OHL, right. If they're in college, obviously, and they're done, then that's fine. They'll go to those developmental leagues, maybe even to the AHL, and then they'll get into the system and they'll play for the hockey club in that system. But yeah, massive deal. And they're just gonna pick the best person who's right there. They just moved up in the lottery, and they're gonna get a little bit better talent. That's the way it works. Okay. We'll take the break here. Before we do, you can head over still and make some donations. Hey, this is a great time to pump up our KSL Sports 2-for-1, all right? Go over to the KSL Sports webpage. Go to KSLSports.com. You can sign up. You can donate $2 to Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital, because now we're looking for the Jazz to move up in the lottery. Let's go.
Yeah.
And way better odds for that than it was for the hockey club to get what they got, and you saw what happened. Let's see if we can keep that thing going. Just go over to KSLSports.com and make that donation today. And all the proceeds are going to go to help the folks at Primary Children's Hospital. And so that's an awesome cause, a worthy cause there for the Karma Points. Let's see if we can get it going. We'll take that break. Before we do, hey, you can join Jake and Ben also on Tuesday from 10 to noon. They're going to be at Peach Windows and Doors, 2940 South, 300 West in Salt Lake City. PeachBuildingProducts.com is the website. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up this hour with a best and worst. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
Best and worst brought to you by an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. It's your Doug Smith family of dealerships. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Well, if you just missed it, getting added to the best list is the Utah Hockey Club. Winning the lottery as much as they can win it, going all the way up to the 4th spot from 14. So there you go. Bill Armstrong, as happy as can be. If you want to listen to any of that, you can go back and listen to the podcast and take a little bit of a replay of how excited the GM of the Utah Hockey Club is about being the 4th overall pick. Let me see here. Best also. Ooh, you ready for this? The NFL Draft is going to go to Washington, D.C. Did you see the renderings of this, by the way?
No. They're going all out?
Not only are they going all out, they're calling it the Million Fan March on Washington.
What? No, what?
Yes.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Why are they doing that?
Because they're going to put it on the National Mall. That's where the draft is going to be held.
Okay.
And they're anticipating 1 million plus to watch the draft. Why? Because 750,000 went to Detroit, 600,000 went to Lambeau Field.
Surely 1 million will show
Come
up.
on. The renderings,
DC.
you should go click on it because the NFL draft or the NFL put it up. The renderings are right there. So they're going to be, the stage is going to be across the Washington Monument.
That's cool.
I don't know what that is. It's like the pond.
Yeah.
It's like that little water feature.
Water that has the
reflective pool.
The
there we go.
Yes,
all right.
the reflective pool.
The reflective pool.
I wonder what Daniel Snyder thinks of all this. Think of all the great things that have happened to that franchise since he got rid of it.
By the way, not coming to Washington, D.C. in 2027 if he's still the owner. Just letting you know. Sovereignty gets the big win, outduels journalism for the 151st Kentucky Derby win.
Bad day for journalism.
But a good day today.
Sure that's not fake news?
First of all, everybody was like, you're just saying a profession.
I know.
Accounting.
Accounting wins the Preakness.
I know. The Rams, by the way, perk your ears up, Utah fans and Britton Covey fans.
Yes.
The Rams have signed Britton Covey to Los Angeles, going from Philly
1 year deal
to LA. Going to go 1 year deal. Yeah, where is the Martinellis? Come on.
Let's party tonight.
And then the worst, the Ravens today making a decision that was probably a tough one, releasing their longtime kicker, Justin Tucker. If you don't know why, look up a few things on the internet. Of course, embattled, I guess, would be the word to use.
Yes.
For the man. So
something about massages.
Got some accusations flying around out there.
I'm sure that didn't help his cause.
And the Ravens are like, you know what? We've been in trouble for not going after guys enough in the past, and so we're going to go ahead and release a kicker. Here we go. All right, we'll take the break here. We'll come back. The Utah Jazz, by the way, can they get that number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft for this year? We don't know. You can join us at the draft party on that exact day, May 12th, next Monday at JCW's in Harriman, 5251 Anthem Park Boulevard. We'll be right there all show long covering it. The entire station. We're going to have every personality from across all the different shows all day long joining us from 3 to 6 and hopefully a little bit further into the night if they end up winning that lottery. So stay here. More to go, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.